scratch that one. What's going on, guys and girls? It's kind of sad, but I got rid of the drag mini bike and I replaced it with this. Just kidding, psych, it's over there. Anyway, I did pick this up, rather I should say my girlfriend picked it up. We picked it up for pretty cheap. It wasn't super cheap, but it was a good deal. It currently has a Honda GC 160, not the GX 160. There is a big difference. The cylinder on this one is straight vertical and the valve cover is on the top, whereas the GX is tilted over just like a Predator 212. Let me give you a little tour around this bike real quick. So it's called a Baja Blitz. I think it's a doodle bug, not 100% certain. It's got the squeezy rear brake, which is just a cheesy cable operated brake. You can see it there. It's a pretty decent bike though, like the powder coat's in really good shape. It runs wonderfully. It's really fun to ride. The only thing is, I don't think this is the original motor in it because it blocks the foot peg. But nonetheless, this is an awesome little bike. It's gonna be quite fun. I already have a Predator 212 sitting in a box, brand new right there for it. And we're planning on going stage 4 with this guy. It's going to be really fun, so be sure to stay tuned for the episodes on the Baja Blitz. My girlfriend knows German quite well. She can read, write it, and speak it. So we've kind of nicknamed this bike the Blitzkrieg, meaning lightning war. This is now officially dubbed the Blitzkrieg. Now, let's get back to the awesome mini bike. Alright, so we're back to the awesome mini bike. Well, the other one's pretty awesome too because it actually runs, drives, and everything like that. But this one is ridiculous compared to the other one. Hence its nickname, the Ridiculous Mini Bike Build. Lots has happened since my last YouTube video. I have not been able to update YouTube that often because I have been super busy. I apologize for that. We're going to catch you up right now though. Handlebars, we got our kill switch, start button, also the headlight switch, which is actually going to be moved over to here. I'm going to disable the clutch safety switch and the parking brake switch that the Warrior had on it because of the fact that, well, quite frankly, this clutch switch sucks. We're just going to disable all the safeties on it, and I'll just have to make sure that A, it's either neutral, or B, the clutch is pulled in, or A and B both before starting it. Not a big deal. The front axle, sorry, I'm walking around tools here. The front axle is in. I have machined custom aluminum spacers that go in here and over there as well. The catch to this is the axle is for a Honda Ruckus, so it is a 12mm axle. The mini bike setup that it has right now is made for a 5/8 inch axle, so I had to make a spacer to go from 5/8 to 12mm, which I didn't have a 12mm drill bit, so I just got the closest American size I could get. America. Yes, the wheel's missing some bolts, but we'll get to that later. The throttle, you can hear it moving the carb. Throttle is connected and functional. Our clutch cable is also functional. I ordered a front brake line that has not shown up yet. It apparently is coming direct from China, which I didn't know when I ordered it. Thank you for that, Amazon. Not. I have an AN line right there. It's a -3, and I can get the banjo adapters from -3 AN to the 10mm banjo faster probably than I can get that brake hose that I ordered, and at least I'll have a backup. My idea is to get the chain on, chain tensioner, get the rear brake figured out, which as you can see there, we'll get there in a minute. Once we get that figured out, then I can zip tie my ridiculously tiny gas tank. I mean, look at this thing. It's a pretty cheeseball. This was only like 15 bucks or something, and I ordered it because I thought maybe it'll work. It's for a 2-stroke Chinese ATV or something. Compared to the bike, it looks ridiculous. We're not going to keep this, but temporarily it's a safer fuel vessel to hold gasoline for my testing purposes. It works for now. Plus, it actually would look really good on the Blitzkrieg bike. Onward. I rebuilt the carburetor. It works really well now. It actually revs. The only thing is, if I stab the throttle like that when it's running, basically the engine cuts off. Maybe I need to richen it up a skosh. If you know anything about carburetors on Warriors, let me know, because throttle stab, blah, dead. It doesn't stall, but it wants to, like, it just kind of cuts out and won't rev. One of the other things I got done was the reverse shifter right here. I got the tab made up and I welded that on. The fact of the matter is this bike is so ridiculously long and my turning radius is just gonna suck. There is no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. So actually having reverse on a bike this long is very advantageous, and I'm glad that it has reverse and I had the shifter and everything. The bearing bracket here, I just welded a piece of angle iron 3/16 inch thick. I like to use 3/16 for some reason. And then the bracket is attached to that. You can see here that we have plenty of clearance. Yes, that's a hydraulic press brake in the background. What I did for the mounts was I took the angle iron and I milled a slot with a 1/4 inch end mill so that it essentially will lock into place. Sorry this isn't focusing. I hate GoPros sometimes. So essentially this sits on that plate right where I want it, so I can tack weld it in and then I can trim it down and then weld it up. Let's see here. We got our battery mount figured out. It's a piece of aluminum with a step down that grabs this, and the battery is actually pretty dang solid. I could probably almost pick up part of the bike. What I did was I stacked 2 nuts. These are 1/4 20 nuts here. I stacked 2 of them on top of each other and welded them while they were on a bolt, and then I just welded them onto this plate. I had to add about a 1-inch piece of steel here so that the battery could sit there. It'd be fine, bro. That's the update on the mini bike build. Stay tuned for more updates on this, as well as the Baja Blitz, aka the Blitzkrieg. We should be doing some engine work on that pretty soon. We're probably going to swap the 212 into that before doing any modifications to the 212 so that we can see how fast everything makes it. Also, we're going to set up a small obstacle course, potentially like a drag race, maybe a slalom, and we'll do some time trials and stuff like that, and we can test the performance progress of the Blitzkrieg. Stay tuned for all that awesome stuff, and stay tuned for more updates on the ridiculous mini bike build. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram page where I post in between YouTube videos progress of the mini bike build, other cool stuff that I find and run across, and check it out. I think you might like it. On that note, thank you for watching and have a good weekend.